I don't know if this will capture this, but 12 years ago I found sgi-usa, and I'm really grateful to Daisaku Keita for basically spreading a communist Buddhism all across the world. But I also was at a Buddhist meeting one night and was asked to house a woman whom I didn't know at my studio, and I was 20 years old, and she happened to rape me in the middle of the night after going to bed. We both went to sleep is what I'm trying to say, and she woke me up, and I don't remember much, but it's 12 years later, and right now it says inside it's closed, this building. I came here to get a little booklet to track chanting because I'm still Buddhist. And I don't know if, I mean, Buddhists don't rape, so you know what I'm saying? But today, for some reason, I just really wanted to come here, still alive, and capture this moment, I guess, of facing your demons, of I'm still here. And I've also been assaulted by a man on a date. He was a PhD holder in biology on his way to do postdoctorate work at Harvard, you know? And I was so full of adrenaline that it should never happen to me again that I fought him off. It was just like 10 minutes of fighting him off, you know? And I came away from that. I recovered from that in 3 months, because you expect as a woman to look out for men to attack you, but you don't expect women, and I was never prepped for that. And this was my favorite. I loved finding Gongyo and chanting the 2 chapters from the Lotus Sutra, and I'm so miserable that happened to me, because I was so sincere. I used to come to this building right here at like 5 in the morning to chant. I used to just love chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo over and over. I had my altar. I would do it twice a day. I would never fail. I would study the writings of Nichiren Daishonin. I bought all the Daisaku Keita books. I couldn't afford them. I've gone to the Florida Nature Center, I forget what it's called, in Florida, when I didn't have the money, and I literally chose to pay my rent. No, not pay my rent, and spend the money on that trip because of my faith, you know, my practice. And I somehow got the money to pay my rent afterwards. And I just, Daisaku Keita at 19, when somebody introduced me to this Buddhism, was like my father. I had a very violent, abusive father who was, I think, mentally struggling with coming to the States and encountering all the racism here. He's from South Sudan, and he wasn't prepped for it after coming to the USSR, where they invited him to have a PhD, to get a PhD for free. He met my mother, they got married, they had me, and then he came to America, and no one told us about the slavery here, the slavery history, and both of us just got and I ran away from home at 18, and a year later somebody introduced me to this Buddhism when I was working at a cafe. She was like, "You're so sunny, you're so bright, I want to introduce you, come chant with me." And it freaked me out because Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo was very strong, and I was like, whoa. I grew up Christian. My father was studying to be a pastor. But I really appreciated the message of you can overcome anything, and you are a Buddha, you're not a sinner. You are here to find your own inner light and polish off the gunk that has been put on you from the world and maybe past karma. But in this lifetime you can achieve your Buddhahood, and you can be free, and you can change the world for the better. You can establish Kosen Rufu, which means world peace. It's like the most communist Buddhism ever, because it's just so not about going off into a mountain only. It's about trying to connect with yourself and then living that every day and participating in things in the world to make it better. And that person who raped me, I remember thinking to myself, like, you don't really feel Buddhist to me, but you're here and I'm trying to be helpful. And when I was asked to house her, I was like, well, I want to practice what we are taught. And I was asked to house her because it was late at night and she thought she would be able to stay at the apartment of the woman hosting the Buddhist meeting. And she had her boyfriend coming into town, and she couldn't. And the point was, it's too late at night. She might get assaulted on the way home. She was older than me, but she was still young. I was only 20. I was only 19. I was practicing and coming here for a year before that happened to me in February.